the grocery store. They got a deer walking past the stores. Here's the grocery store, guys. Thriftway. Oh, it's so cool to see the deer. Love it. Hello, beautiful. Hello. Picked up water and all kinds of groceries. Some fresh fruit and veggies. And now we're heading past Raymond into South Bend, a teeny little town in Washington. Okay? It's shaking a little bit. My holder is not real steady. I'm hoping you're all doing well, hanging in there. I hope your parents are doing well, if they're still around. I feel good about going down to see Dad again. You see all this white stuff on the side of the road? Those are oyster shells, because they have oyster beds all along through here and down. This is definitely small town America. I think that is for the oysters over there. Or, oh, okay, they did say high school. That's not it, though. No, not there. That's a fairly new building. Okay, I'm going 30. I need to go down in my speed. They have a Dollar General store here in South Bend. Quite a few churches. The small town has a lot of churches. This is a little hotel, motel, restaurant. Look at that pink building. I believe, if I'm right, apartments. I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, apartments. I do stop at that 76 station sometimes. There's a little, the Inn grocery next to it also. Now we're going to be looking for the hardware store. And we'll see if they're open. It looks like they are not open. Darn. It's Sunday. Darn. Good thing I stopped at the other store, huh? That's where I was going to stop and get a few things. But they are not open. It's 7:41 and they are closed. Look at that old building. Wow. Harbor something, Ironworks, used to be an Ironworks. Dental clinic, that building on the left. And the houses are kind of like a little, some of them Victorian style. Here's a view on the right. This is South Bend. There's also a North Bend, which is Highway 90 out towards Snoqualmie. This is complete different direction. Cute little town. Right on the waterfront. Look at that. Wow. Okay. I'm going 24. Let's drop it down. Oh, it says 30. Okay. Cascadia Computers. Okay. Okay, they're fixing that building up. Let's just look straight ahead so you can see both sides. I think they have like a little oyster fair or some kind of fish fair during the summer. All these little towns have their own little fairs. We had a strawberry festival in a place called White Salmon when I was growing up. Okay, we're going slow. We don't want a ticket. South Bend Pharmacy on the left. On the right, I would say if I, oh God, look at that. That's all falling apart. If I were going to have a business, I'd want it on the water side. Pacific Seafood, guys. That's a big company. Yep, Pacific Oysters. How many of you like oysters? Okay, we're coming out of the town. Now we're going to be running into a lot of water, mud flats, etc. And then when we finally get to Long Beach, you're going to see the ocean, possibly. Depends on if I go over that way. Look at that little sign that they have, South Bend. All right, we're going 40 miles an hour. We're picking up speed, honey. The roads pretty soon are going to get windy. got a lot of country road to cover before we get to Long Beach. Be sure to write in the comments what part of the country you live in, and if you like driving out in the country, and tell us a little bit about yourself. That'd be great. I like to share stories. I hope you have good health, or you're recovering if you've been ill. Oh, there's a deer. Wow, off to the right. I saw a deer on the road, 3 of them crossing as I was leaving the grocery store. They crossed a 4-lane road. Wow. One of them was sitting down waiting. I thought it was cool. It was actually, it looked like it was sitting on its haunches, which I have not seen before. I've either seen them laying down or standing, but not on their haunches. God, I wish I could have had a picture of that. All right, guys, here we go. See, the water is off to the side. Kind of a mud flat right there. As we get closer to Long Beach, you're going to see a lot of mud flats, depending on if the water, the tide is in or out. You do not want to walk out on those because you could sink in. Reminds me of places in Alaska. Like in the summer, well, it was April, I flew up to Alaska years ago, and I went to ski at Alyeska. And on the way out there, my friends that were from Alaska that were with me told me a story about a lady and her husband who were out walking out in the tundra off to the right as you're driving from the west going east toward Alyeska to ski. And they said off there was a lady. Now, who knows if it's true, but it makes sense. They said those mud flats can suck you in, meaning you can't, once you get stuck in it, you can't get pulled out. And so as the tide was out, they were over there walking, looking at the flowers, etc. And she got stuck in a sinkhole, whatever you call it, mud, and her husband couldn't pull her out. And so as the tide came in, she drowned. Now, do you believe that story? I don't know. That was told to me so many years ago, but I think it could be true. Over here to the left, we have a lot of cows, so we got farmers out this way. It's called Carruthers Slough. And then over here, lots of fields. Now, this is an interesting part of town. Now, down there in Long Beach and Ocean Parks area, is pretty cheap to live. So it's brought in a lot of people who are living on low income. Also, there's a lot of drug activity, methamphetamine, etc. And you'll notice as you go into the stores that there's quite a few people, not everyone, but who have lost their teeth, have very few teeth left. We don't know if it's bad dental care or it's just the chemicals from methamphetamines and the other drugs that have caused that for their dental care. But you will see quite a few people without teeth or just a few teeth left, and that's sad. Also, I do not recommend you giving anybody a ride hitchhiking down here. Don't even try it. Not even if it's a woman or a man. Don't. We're heading down. We passed Raymond, South Bend. We're heading down toward Long Beach, Washington. Still have to watch out for deer. This is still morning, 7:50, but during the day the traffic gets big coming down here, especially on the weekends. A lot of people like to go to Long Beach for a cheap vacation. It's getting more expensive, but it's still one of the cheapest places to vacation in this state. They have kite festivals, car shows. They used to have something on, they probably do, it's called the End of the World Race. I believe that was the name of it. And all these cars would travel from across the nation and end up here on the West Coast. So I heard of that in the past. I don't know if they still have it, but it makes sense. And then you have a lot of vintage car shows where vintage cars will come down here. This road is in pretty good shape. You can see the ocean off to the side. We have 45 miles an hour on this curve. There's going to be almost a 360 turn once in a while. There's a curve. A 180 to 360 almost. Lots of turns, lots of ocean views, waterfront, beautiful. During the summer months, you'll see a lot of RVs coming down here. Here we go, guys. Isn't that pretty? Yeah. And that land out there, if you can see it, is Long Beach. Okay. If you can see it. Yeah, there we go. They say it's one of the longest beaches on this side of the country. Long Beach, Washington. It's like a peninsula. You go out to it. So when there's, if you have a tsunami evacuation, not good. There's only one way to get off the island, and it's a road. You got to drive all the way to it. There's really no high ground. There's one area by Ilwaco where if you can get to it, it's fairly high, but it'd be tough to get off. Even if you drove in this area, see how the water could come in, guys. I stopped because I had a phone call from my husband. We chatted. Tully's there. He got to hear my voice. He was not happy when I left this morning, our doggy. So look at this. Isn't this pretty? I think one of the first times I saw super tall trees, much taller than this, on a road, and you could barely see the sky, was up on the Olympic Peninsula back in the day before a lot of logging happened. So when I was a little girl, I remember when we moved up to the Olympic Peninsula, these tall, tall evergreen trees along the road as we drove up toward, oh God, our destination. So if you guys ever come to Washington, check out the Olympic Peninsula. Do the loop. You can start in Aberdeen and circle around clockwise, then take the ferry from Bremerton back or Kingston back to Edmonds. Anyway, it's just beautiful. And then you might want to consider staying over at Quaylock Lodge, or you go to Port Angeles. You could take the boat across to Victoria, Vancouver Island. Oh man, that's pretty. So I don't know if they have the Black Ball ferry or what ferry it is. It's a bigger boat from Port Angeles over to Vancouver Island. Be sure to visit Victoria. But this is the opposite direction where I'm going. So it is now 8:04 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in the morning. And I did great. Look at all this kind of lowland to the right and left, and it's all wet. You don't want to go out there, okay? Might be good for bird hunting, but I'll pass. So our sun's coming up. It's behind the clouds. It is beautiful. Lots of little rivers and streams out this way too. Heading out toward the ocean. You know, sometimes you see in the summer, especially, you see long distance bikers. But you see how dangerous it is? There's just no area for them to be safe. Lots of trucks, logging trucks, and RVs coming along here in cars. Also a lot of motorcycles. A regular cyclist, whoa. You gotta have some guts to take this road on. So I put some of my Hawaiian bread out there, and out by Thriftway, and boy, those seagulls swooped in. Then as I came back into the Thriftway to use the ladies' room, the crows and seagulls followed me. I decided not to put any more out there. That one seagull that got there first got all the goodies. I don't think another seagull showed up, but I don't know if there was anything left. I probably left 12 pieces of that bread because I didn't want to eat it all. It's probably not the best for them, but they are scavengers. So I didn't want to throw it away. I thought I'd just give it back to whichever animal wants it. Okay, I got to be careful on these turns. It's not icy yet. I don't like to travel down here in late November or December when it's icy or in the dark because of all the wildlife, and also because it's dangerous. Lots of logging. A lot of this area is logged, and then it's growing back, of course. But boy, it used to be just spectacular with trees down here. We still have a lot. But as you're driving, you'll notice some of the mountainsides have been logged. They do them in sections. It helps stop the fires that occur. And I don't know enough about it. You probably know more than I do. All right. Oh, and this beautiful. Definitely have to be careful of deer. There's a house right down there. Wow. There's a place off to the right someplace, which is an art community. And it's supposed to be really cool. But I've never been out there. It's further down and then off to the right on one of the side roads. I don't know what it's called. But I thought, yeah, that is cool. Out here near the waterfront in a nice community. So I do think I'm going to film Dad telling some stories, if he doesn't mind. I still have quite a bit of film from the past I stored. I didn't know if I should put it out while he's still alive. Thought maybe I would wait and do it in his memory. They'd be little snippets. I can't say the word. Anyway, little portions of his life and his stories. Isn't that pretty? You can just see the brightness through all the trees. It's been shielded by clouds, slightly just off to the left of the road. Beautiful. Usually it's blue skies down this way in the summer. What does it say? Lewis and Clark National Park. So Lewis and Clark came out all the way out here. That would have been a rugged trip. Okay, we're going downhill. We should be getting to the stop sign where we do our major right turn and head toward Long Beach. Here it is. You can see the water up front. I always feel good when I hit this area heading home. So you go up as you're, okay, there's that long view is to the left, east on 4, and 101 is Long Beach, Ilwaco, okay? I'll just take you to Long Beach and then I'll turn it off. So I think staying at Best Western is the best, and it's cheaper. Be sure to ask for a discount, depending on if you're military, teacher, or I don't know about senior citizens, if they get a discount. The Breakers is a step up, and they have a swimming pool. And like I said, a lot of my family stays at the breakers. I'm going to be the economy style girl. Look to the left at the water. Oh my God. This is 40 miles an hour around these curves. And that's something. I don't know if you can see it. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah, if there was a tsunami, the water would raise up high on the road, I'm pretty sure, in this area. They do have tsunami sirens, but God, I got a story to tell you. This is embarrassing, though. So, I'm not sure I said it in any other videos. So, as I'm down here with Dad years and years ago, and, you know, there's a lot of break-ins and theft and break-in the cars and drugs down in this area, right? So I'm sleeping in the extra room where Dad lives now. And all of a sudden I hear this siren. And I'm going, oh, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I go, oh my God. It was like 1 in the morning. And I thought, tsunami, tsunami. So I wake Dad up, we grab a few things, we get in the car. I don't think I have my dog with me. And I had a Jeep, what was it, Liberty. And I remember getting out to the car. My car door was slightly open but still locked. And I didn't think about it. I just thought, that's odd. Well, it was the alarm of the car. But I didn't get it. I was so scared and still sleeping. So I get Dad in the truck and I take off because I think it's a tsunami. But then I go, oh my God, where do we go? The place is flat. And Dad said, there's a property that's the highest place, and it only looked like it was 30 feet up. But we parked in their parking lot. I mean, it's a big piece of property. And we parked there thinking, oh God, we're gonna be overtaken by a wave. And then I said, well, that's weird, nobody else is leaving. Look at this bridge, isn't this pretty? I love bridges, as you know. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at this. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Oh, so pretty. Wow. So anyway, but we're half awake. So I said, let's call 911 and ask what the heck's going on. Why are we the only ones escaping? Well, I said, is there a tsunami warning? They said, no. I said, God, we heard an alarm. They said, did somebody try to break into your truck? And I said, that's it. So we drove back. I was so embarrassed. But Dad, too, was exhausted, and it sounded like the tsunami warning. But it was my alarm on, and so they said there's no tsunami. So we drove back to the house, thankful that there wasn't a tsunami, but how embarrassing. And somebody did try to break into my car, but the alarm went off. I turned the lights on. I went to the front porch and looked out. It probably scared him off. Some druggie trying to break in and steal. So I don't feel good about parking down there, but during the day while I'm at Dad's, I'll park and then I'll go and lock up in front of the hotel, which is safer. But you don't want to leave a lot of stuff in your car when you're parked back over there. Dad's had a lot of theft happen in his tools and equipment. Lots of theft, lots of crime. Darn it. But, I mean, that happens too in the city, right? All right. You wouldn't think that would happen way out in the country, would you? So I used to own some property years and years ago. Before my girlfriend passed away, I had a girlfriend named Karen Zimmer. She was an attorney. We were really good friends. She died about the year Mom passed away, 2015. Anyway, she had cancer of the uterus, and then she later, once she thought she beat that, it was in her lungs. So lung cancer took her down. Darn it. And on the 4th of July, when I was going over to visit her, I got a call from her sister saying Karen passed away this morning. Karen was one of my best friends, although the last few years we were going kind of separate ways, but always friends. And then I found out later she had cancer, and so I started visiting her more. Anyway, God, it's sad when we lose our friends and family, isn't it? Anyway, Karen was a good friend. I said, Karen, I not only have a house to pay here, but I bought 5 acres on a lake with an old Blue Moon. I think it was a 1986 trailer, maybe older. And it was kind of falling apart, but I painted it and I outfitted it, and I put a dryer in it, and then I didn't get the washer yet, but I totally outfitted the whole kitchen and put a bed in and all the furniture. A lot of it I bought from garage sales. Anyway, I thought, oh, someday I'm going to build a log house on it. But I went down there to stay, and I had creepy guys knocking on my door and weird people coming around, and I just went, oh my God, this is scary. So, but I rented it. I rented it to an ex-lawyer who turned out to be a druggie. I believe I might have told you in a previous story. Oh my God. His last name was Furier. Should have known, right? Carl. Anyway, he ended up going to prison, and then he ended up dying of overdose or something. Anyway, he had me in court. I was trying to get him out. He didn't pay rent for a year. And so Karen drove down with me and said, let's sell this property to your dad for $1. And then you have him pay you back all your money. So he was paying me back $300 a month, and then at the end of a certain amount of time, he was to give me a lump sum to pay me all my money back that I had invested in it. I think I had invested in it almost $30,000. I can't remember, but I got it all back eventually. Dad took it over and had to deal with this horrible Carl, who was, his girlfriend sold methamphetamine. And so when Dad went into the Blue Moon trailer, he had to rip it all apart and had to go, follow all the rules to make sure it was clean of any meth. I don't think she made meth in it, but they took meth. Ugh. Anyway, a druggie. So it was so creepy. Anyway, Dad saved me. And Karen helped write the contract. Karen Zimmer, my girlfriend, who had a law firm. Before she passed away, she stayed with her sister and brother-in-law and her 2 nieces, and they loved her dearly. They took her to Europe. They did all kinds of stuff because they knew that she was terminal. So anyway, Karen was with them, and she sold her law practice just before she passed away, and all the proceeds went toward her sister's family and her nieces. And I went to Karen's funeral, and it was so beautiful. That was my dad calling, but he's got a problem with his phone. I can't call him back. So when I went to switch it over to him, I deleted his phone call. Shoot. Oh well, I'll see him in about an hour. So look to the side. It is a lovely drive. In the summer, it's nice. The water seems pretty high, actually. Just a little while ago, I had a beautiful view of the water, but I was trying to reach Dad, so I had to stop my filming. So we're going to stop pretty soon. Going over a little bridge. Look how high this water is. Usually when you look out, there's mud flats, right? The grass has grown on it. You'll see a lot of boats come in through here, little boats, fishing. There might be oyster beds too in there, guys. I'm I'm not sure I have everything correct. But if you see these pilings out here, there used to be, see those? There used to be a dock of some type. I don't know if those are markers to show mudflats, be careful. I don't know. So we look straight ahead. I'll probably put this out in a few weeks down the road. So we're traveling to the coast in Washington State. So anyway, Karen Zimmer, bless her soul, who passed away in 2015, lovely friend. Karen sold her law firm. But while she was still alive, my dad just thought she was special. She came down with me to visit him, and we wrote up a contract, sold my 5 acres on a lake, and I never looked back. I sold it to Dad for, I think it was $1 or $3. And then he paid me for a couple of years per month religiously. And then he paid me a big sum at the end. So I got all my money that I invested in it off. I didn't include my taxes. But poor Dad had almost a year without any rent from that Carl, who was a druggie. He became a surveyor, but before that he was an attorney, but he lost his license. Why? Because he was a druggie. And methamphetamines were part of the problem. Anyway, so I'll never forget that story. I was being idealistic, thinking I was going to build a log house there. Ugh, I would not want to live down here, guys. Not as a single woman. I'm married, but my husband and I are not interested. I believe once Dad passes away, we probably will not return to Long Beach area. But I mean, it's an affordable place for a lot of people to live. There's a lot of retirees down there. We used to go to the Eagles Club, the Elks, and the Moose. I think there's an Elks, right? Yeah. I don't know about the Moose. Anyway, there's 2 places. I think it's the Elks and the Eagles. Dad used to be a member of. I remember once I went to a New Year's Eve party there. And that was with Dad in my single days. I just came down to keep him company. So, lots of stories to tell, but that'll be over time. This is an interesting drive. But can you imagine? It'd be great for a Harley Davidson person to take off in a summer month and come down here on the Harley with some friends. So cool. Because of the views. The views are just spectacular. I'm going to try to just stop and look at and walk toward the water when I get to the hotel. Probably early in the morning I'll go. I don't personally, I'm very protective. I don't personally go out on the beach by myself in the wee hours of the morning because of some unusual activity. I don't take any chances walking out by myself on a beach. I stay pretty close to my car. I'm not bringing my dog down these days. I don't want him to have any infections. One time, my last dog, before he died, it was a Westie, I had brought him down. We were on the beach and he was sniffing. I didn't see him sniffing on a dead fish. There must have been some kind of bacteria that he got. I don't know. Or it was about the time that we were getting all those bad products from, I believe, China that were killing the dogs. I don't know if you remember that. what was that, 20 some years ago, there were all these dogs that were dying from the foods we were feeding them, and there were these fillers that were sent over from China, they said, and they were tainted. So anyway, I got my dog off of dog food. This is, I don't know, was that 15 years ago? 10, whatever. I got him off of dog food, and I started making him dog food at home. And I would take brown rice, carrots, peas. Sometimes I'd cook beans up and cut them up. And I would do egg, and then I would do lean ground turkey. And I would make a meatloaf for the dog. And I got the recipe from an emergency clinic where I brought my dog in. My dog was acting like a robot, kind of shaking, and it was just frightening. And stiff leg, I thought he was going to die. So anyway, I got him off of no dog food, nothing. It was all homemade. And you can't keep them on there long because it's not good for their teeth, right? But that's all I fed him for about a month, and he recovered. This lady said, do this. Don't feed him any bones, no milk bones, no nothing. And nothing that might have ingredients from China. And so my dog survived that. And I still have that recipe. I should try to make it for my new dog, Tilly. Tilly is about 3 years old now. My other dog died about 3.5 years ago at age 14. It was bad. It was bad. He was shaking and really sick. I found out they said he had lung cancer. I don't know. I have True Companion dog insurance. I don't usually turn in forms very often to them, but I have it in case of any huge emergencies. All right, guys, this is it. We're on Long Ocean. Okay, we have Oysterville up here to the right. I'm going to turn it off, but I'm taking a right and heading up north. We're on Long Beach now. Okay. I hope you enjoyed it and the stories. Hope you have a great day.